And have you had any business dealings with Mr. Maumela since you became friends?
Yeah, there were a few that we had some deals that were supposed to happen.
That were supposed to happen. Oh,
Yes, there was a deal that was supposed to take place.
And what did that deal concern?
It was into a mining operation and a wash plant and a crushing plant with chrome.
And now, when you said Morgan sorted, you were referring to a payment of 500,000 rands for the benefit of Mr. Maumela.
That's right.
And that payment was to Lutaga Trading Enterprise.
That's right.
Who asked you to pay Mr. Maumela?
Mr. Matlala.
And who asked you to pay Mr. Maumela through Lutaga Trading Enterprise?
Mr. Maumela.
Mr. Maumela asked you to pay Lutaga Trading Enterprise?
Yes.
When did you speak to Mr. Maumela to receive that instruction?
It was before we got that payment. He'd already been talking to me, saying that he has spoken to Mr. Matlala, and that he asked Mr. Matlala that Mr. Matlala needs to pay him his money, and Mr. Matlala said to him he's busy talking to me.
And so, when were these conversations that you had with Mr. Maumela?
So sometime just before the payments, Feb. Just a few days before the payment.
And he said to you, Mr. Matlala owes me money.
Mr. Matlala approached me and said, look, I need you to pay Mr. Maumela. He wanted me to pay him a big amount, and I said, how do I pay him half of this money? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, you're not paying me, but now you want me to pay 750 of this money. He says, no, Mr. Maumela needs the money, can you do this? I said, look, I can't do 750. And I then agreed to do 500 because we knew that there were more invoices coming, or he knew, I should say. Let me rephrase that. Mr. Matlala said to me there's more invoices that are still owed to him, and then he will then top me up on the next payment. But in total, he wanted me to give Mr. Maumela 750,000.
So he wanted you to pay Mr. Maumela 750,000. Although you didn't have to pay Mr. Maumela anything, you agreed to pay 500,000.
Yes, at that time, I needed to keep, like I said, I needed to keep Kat happy, and I needed to make sure that on the next payment, I get another payment. So that was what I was looking to do. Keep Mr. Matlala happy, pacify him. I didn't want to make the payment, but he insisted, he asked me, please. So I thought if I don't do this payment, I might not get a payment on the next one.
And you said Mr. Maumela said that the payment should go to Lutaga.
Yes.
And when did he say that?
It was just after we got paid.
Just after you got paid?
Yeah.
So you got paid you received proof of payment at 1513 on the 4th of February. And at 1517:21, you texted back, Morgan sorted. So did you call Mr. Maumela in those 4 minutes after you received proof of payment?
No, he knew the payment was in. Mr. Matlala informed him that the payment was in.
Yes, but he only informed Mr. Maumela at 1513.
Which document are you referring to, Council?
If you go to page 535.
it's flagged as what, Mr. Johnson?
535, you see that the proof of payment is emailed from Mr. Matlala to Mr. Maumela at 15:13:19.
Yes.
A couple of seconds after, 7 seconds after it's emailed to you, WhatsApp to you.
Yes.
So between your receiving the proof of payment at 15:13:12 and your text to Mr. Matlala at 15:17 saying Morgan sorted, if you only called Mr. Maumela after you received proof of payment, then it would have had to have been in those 4 minutes.
Council, I said after we received payment from SAPS.
After you received payment from SAPS?
After Mr. Matlala received payment from SAPS, not me. After Mr. Matlala received his payment from SAPS.
Yes, but he received his payment from SAPS. If we go back to that payment screen, I think it was on the 4th of February was when payment was going to materialize. We can just...
I think it was on the 31st, somewhere there.
No, that's when the payment was processed. It arrived. So if you go back to that screen...
What page is that, Council?
It is
Page 6.
page 6 of the evidence bundle.
File 1.
File 1, page 6. So you see straddling pages 5 and 6, there's the screen, which has 2 dates. The one date is when payment is processed, and the other date is, I think, is when it's going to be deposited in an account, 31st January, 4th of February. But underneath, Mr. Matlala says, confirmed all chicks to be delivered 4 February tomorrow inshallah, and you say, sure, brother.
Yes, the payment reflected on midnight of the 4th.
Midnight of the 4th.
Yes.
So you then, at some stage, called Mr. Maumela to say, I'm ready to pay you.
Mr. Matlala informed him that he's going to be paid on that day. And that's when Mr. Maumela made contact and told me to pay him.
Yes, but I'm interested in when you spoke to him because...
It was in the day, like I said, after the payment.
Yes, but, and if I understood your evidence correctly, he was the one who said, don't pay me personally, pay Lutaga.
That was his instruction.
Right, and it came from him in a call on the 4th.
That's correct.
Now, this was not your first payment to Lutaga. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So if we go to page 499, and that's the bundle 2, file 2 of the evidence bundle.
Yes.
You'll see that between December 2023 and November 2024, Ziggy paid Lutaga 42,427,540, and prior to, over the period August 2024 to March 2025, Tamiz paid Lutaga 3,250,000.
Which 750 was from Mr. Matlala.
750 are these 2 Matlala payments?
Yes.
Yes. So the net payment from Tamiz to Lutaga was 2.5 million.
That's correct.
Mr. Chairperson, to assist with the transcription, can you just Lutaga's name, just spell it for the record?
Luthaga, Trading Enterprise. And now, why did Ziggy pay Luthaga 42,427,000 over the period December 2023 to November 2024?
Can I elaborate on that, Council? Can I elaborate?
Can you?
Elaborate, can I?
Please do.
Like I said, I met Mr. Maumela in 2022. We did a lot of work on my house together. We became friendly. Mr. Maumela was a gentleman. He was very helpful. Subsequent to that, we became friends. In about 2023, I was discussing a business idea with him going into a mining project, into a wash plant and a crusher plant with a mine. That was the idea that I had, which I shared with him. Mr. Maumela was quite keen on investing with me, and I said to him, okay, it's fine. If it makes sense and you feel it's good for you, we can go ahead and do this transaction. I then presented a business proposal to him. We then agreed we'll call this vehicle Chrome Core. So the vehicle was going to be called Chrome Core, and one of my entities would own 50% of it, and one of his entities would own 50% of the vehicle. We needed to raise money because obviously mining is quite cash intensive and it needs a lot of cash to operate. We then agreed we'd both each raise 50 million and 5 million capital. We agreed on that. Mr. Maumela then said to me, I said to him, look, I will raise my part, you go and raise your part. I then asked him, because he was taking a bit of time and I wanted to move with the project because this was my idea. He then said to me, he's going to sell an asset. Once he sells the asset, he'd be able to fund the project. I said, that's fine for me. How much time will it take? He gave me some timelines. And then subsequent to that, he had sold this asset. He then said to me, the monies are going to be transferred into a lawyer's trust account. I don't know the name of the lawyer at that time. And then because Chromco was new and we didn't have a bank account, those monies will then be brought into Ziggy as he's part of the project.
Sorry. Chromecore didn't have a bank account because it's new.
We were still in the process.
So the money that he makes from selling the asset is going to be paid over to Ziggy?
Yeah, it's going to come in as a loan into Ziggy.
And when was this?
This was happening in 2023, around, I should say, we started talking from about August, October, November. It was quite intensive because there was a lot of meetings, a lot of work. We needed to do a lot of presentations because it was a big amount of money for both parties. So we had to discuss it extensively.
But I still need to understand why Ziggy paid Luthaga 35 million in December 2020.
I'm getting to that, Council. So once the money got transferred to the lawyer's trust account, the money came to me. I was overjoyed now because I could start the project. Because
and what was the amount of money that came in, the full 50 million?
It was close to about 56, if I'm not mistaken, 56 million.
And just to clarify, that was 56 million that Mr. Maumela paid into the trust account? Or was 56 million?
He just said to me it was the sale of an asset. I don't know.
No, but you said once the money came in. The money that came in was Mr. Maumela's money. It wasn't your joint contributions.
No. That was his money.
And you estimate that amount at 56 million?
It was 56 million and some odd, yes.
Yes.
Subsequent to me receiving the funds, Mr. Maumela then approaches me and tells me that he's got challenges with his current house. He's paying penalties and he's losing R1 million a month on penalties with contractors. So if he could please take some of his money and complete his house, and then he'd bring back the funds so that he could continue with the project. For me, this was it was a slap in the face, because I had committed. I needed to move with the project. I'd made commitments. Now Mr. Maumela is now is telling me he needs to pull out of the deal. He needs to finish his house. It was his money, so he then asked for a refund and said once he's okay, he'll bring the money back. He then instructed me to pay these monies to Lutaga. And then I said to him, look, Mr. Maumela, you're in breach of contract now. I mean, I've committed. The project needs to start. You're now taking your funds. He said, no, I'll come back. I'll make a plan. The monies will come. I'm going to sell this. I'm going to sell that. And I had to refund that money.
So you said you pointed out to him he was in breach of contract. Were there written contracts in relation to this venture?
We had a two-pager that we drew up on that, but we shook hands on the 56, and we said, look, once the assets are bought, we'll then draw up a formal agreement. Once we buy the assets, once we put up the wash plant, once we put up the crusher, and once I bring the plant, the actual yellow metal will then draw up an agreement.
And did you have any lawyers involved at this stage of proceedings?
No, it was just me and Mr. Maumela for now.
And do you have a copy of that two-pager?
I'll have to check in my office. There was someone in my office, Council, that drew that up.
But that two-pager, as I understand it, regulated what would happen to 50 million rands of your money. You'd put in 50 million rands.
Sorry?
He put in 56, but you said you came up with the money, you put in 50 million too.
No, I said he put up and I had to put up.
Yes, but his was the 56, you had to put up your own 50.
Also 55.
55,
Yeah.
yes. That two-pager was going to govern what you could and couldn't do with 55 million rands of your money, and what your right of recourse was against Mr. Maumela in respect of 56 million that he'd put in.
Yeah, it was just an agreement saying that we're going to start this venture. This is what we're putting in, and
well, we'd like to see that agreement. Can I ask that you arrange to have a copy of that agreement sent through here? Doesn't have to be right now. But so he had put in 56 million.
correct.
And he said he wanted to pay contractors at his house because he was incurring penalties.
Correct.
And even though you had committed 55 million of your own money for this project, you decided, well, you'd give him that money back.
It's his money, Council. I could not hold on to that money. It's his money. The man said to me he needs it, and he gave me a commitment that in a couple of months he'd bring it back. To date, he never brought it back. He's still in breach. He didn't bring it back. I continue with the project without him. And now, because of that, I had to put up a wash plant, or I have to outsource washing and crushing, which is costing me more money.
And did you ever investigate why Lutaga was the vehicle that he wanted you to put the money into?
Subsequent to that, I then realized Mr. Maumela's got issues with SARS, and he's got some financial issues.
When did you realize that?
When I started asking him to bring his part of the money back.
And when was that?
That was 25 March, somewhere there, the following year.
Sorry, 20?
I have to just check on the payments. It was after the payments, a couple of months after the payments. Around Feb, March of 2024, Council.
Is it off?
March of 2024.
Yeah.
So you knew in March of 2024 that he had issues with SARS.
Yeah, I saw some stuff in the media. I was just reading some stuff.
What did you see in the media?
I read about preservation order, something to that effect, yeah.
Right. So you knew that he was subject to a preservation order from March 2024? Well, you knew
Somewhere
from
around-
March 2024 he was subject to a
The
preservation?
following year, I knew that he was in a bit of trouble, yes.
Yes. So did you understand that he was asking for payments to be made to Lutaga because that way he could get around the preservation order?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, then why did you link the two together? Why did you?
He told me it's his sister's account, and he's got the controlling rights on the account, and the money needs to go there.
So he's got control of that account,
That's what he said to me, yes.
and it's his, although it's nominally his sister's,
That's what he said to me, yes.
and so money that was owed to him, or that was his money, could be put in that account and escape the SARS preservation order that way.
I think this was before the SARS preservation order. The money was transferred before.
Sorry, the money was transferred before the
Yeah.
SARS preservation order.
The ones in 2023. If I look at it here and I look at the preservation order, yes.
Yes, the 35 million that was transferred on the 12th of December was transferred just in advance of the preservation order. Of course, you didn't know about the preservation order at that
No,
stage.
I saw it now in my books.
But all of the money that Tamiz transferred, on your version, was transferred with full knowledge of the preservation order.
He asked me to transfer the money, I had to transfer the money.
And you knew at the time that he was subject to a preservation order from SARS.
Well, he just said to me, you can transfer it.
No, we've been through this already. You said that he explained to you that Lutaga was his sister's company, but
Yes.
that he could use the money there.
Yes.
And so that so what you were doing in making the 3.25 million payments from Tamiz to Lutaga, and at the very least, was circumventing a preservation order, is it not?
Chair, my learned friend is now going into territory we thought he was going to go into. Unless he can demonstrate how this links with the mandate of the Commission, these questions are unlawful.
Mr. Chairperson?
Chair, we are interested in the relationship between Mr. Matlala, Mr. Maumela, and this witness. We're interested in how the proceeds of crime move around between those witnesses. We know that Mr. Matlala, at the very least, had influence over certain people within the SAPS. We know that this witness held himself out as someone who had influence over certain people within the SAPS and indeed over the minister. We know also that Mr. Matlala and Mr. Maumela are alleged to have been involved in widespread tender fraud and corruption at the Tembiso Hospital alongside what we see in this case. We are at the very least entitled to investigate whether what we're looking at here is a criminal syndicate engaged in widespread tender fraud and also exercising influence over members of the SAPS. And that's where these questions go.
Chair, that is precisely the point. What you've not heard at all is that any of these funds came from any irregular or unlawful police contract. In fact, you've heard quite to the contrary. You've had loose statements like proceeds of crime. You've had a statement that Matlala and Maumela were involved in tender frauds in hospitals, and that exactly proves the point that this is beyond the scope of this commission. Our learned friend is asking this. We say it as a fishing expedition, and to try and embarrass this witness through matters that have got nothing to do with this commission. You will be better acquainted with your mandate than I am, and none of this comes within that. It's entirely outside the scope of this inquiry, and if this question or line of questioning is permitted, we submit that the Commission will be acting in a way that's contrary to the rule of law and the principle of legality.
At this stage, I will allow the line of questioning. If perhaps down the line submissions are, it's quite early on in the process, and we would prefer to see how matters unfold. We are not closing the window to the possibility of being addressed down the line as to whether, after it all, the evidence should be allowed in the sense of us being able to use it. But it is too late in the day at this stage for us to close the door. Please continue, Mr. Shaskalson.
Chair, may I just then
Yes.
register that my client is advised that he must answer these questions under protest, and on your assurance that if this is revisited, any answers that he gives will be struck and will be regarded as pro non scripta.
Yes, if in the end we make that order.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Shaskalson.
The question that you were asked to answer is, do you accept that the payments that were made by Tamiz to Lutaga were payments made to circumvent a SAPS preservation order operating against Mr. Maumela?
SAPS.
Sorry, a SARS preservation order against Mr. Maumela.
Look, I didn't know what was preserved by SARS. I had no idea what was preserved by SARS. Whether the sale was before or after, I was not aware. So when he asked me, I did it. I paid him his money. It was his money.
But your evidence was that he asked you, explaining that his assets were preserved, but that Lutaga was nominally his sister's company, and that you could pay into his sister's company and he would control the funds that went there.
I never said that he told me. He said he has problems with SARS. He never disclosed that he has a preservation order. He said to me he has problems with SARS.
So you weren't aware that there was a preservation order, is your version now?
I only saw the preservation
He said
order
he
from
read
your
in-
file.
He read in the media, he read certain things in the media.
We'll come back to this if we need to. The record will speak for itself in this regard. There are other questions I want to ask you in relation to Mr. Maumela.
Before you move on, Mr. Shaso, I don't know whether you are still to go back to the 500,000 that was paid to Lutaga.
Yes, we are going to go back
You're
to
going
that.
to come.
We are
All
going to go
all
back to
Let
that.
me wait then, perhaps.
For now, you say you read in the media that Mr. Maumela had problems with SARS.
In March,
March 2024.
yes.
Yes. Did you read in the same media that Mr. Maumela was alleged to have been involved in fraud at Tembisa Hospital and had been investigated by Babita Diekaran shortly before her murder?
Yes, I'm aware.
So you were aware that there were these allegations against,
Yes,
and you were aware of those allegations from March 2024.
yes.
Can we come back to the 500,000 that you pay Lutaga in February 2025?
Yeah, yes.
At this stage, February 2025, you've just been paid the first 1.5 million of 20 million that Mr. Matlala owes you. You're nodding? That's yes.
Yes, yes.
You are anxious that Mr. Matlala is way behind where he should be in paying you.
Yes,
You are aware that there are press reports of a preservation order against Mr. Maumela.
yes,
You are aware that there are press reports linking Mr. Maumela and Mr. Matlala to widespread fraud at Tembisa Hospital.
I was aware of that much, yes, at that time, yes.
You are aware that the same press reports link them to the possible murder of Babita Diekaran,
Yes, they were not charged for that, yes.
but there were press reports
Yes.
raising those allegations, right? Why in those circumstances did you choose to pay 500,000, 1/3 of what your first payment was, to Mr. Maumela?
Like I said, Council, before, Mr. Matlala put a lot of pressure. He wanted me to pay 750. And once I saw these newspaper articles, I did not want to get into their crosshairs. And when I looked at these articles, I said to Mr. Matlala, it's fine. I can't pay 750. What I'll do is I'll pay 500. I cannot do 750.
Why did you pay anything at all? This man owed you money, large amounts of it.
Yes, but there were more invoices coming, and he promised me that on the next payments, he'd do good and give me a top-up on that. So,
You understood yourself to have an agreement with Mr. Matlala that he would repay you 20 million rands out of invoices
over 3 years,
over 3 years.
correct.
You were worried that he wasn't doing that.
Yes,
And yet you choose, when you first get paid, to give up 1/3 of your payment.
yes, because we had another 20 million rand worth of invoices, or he had another 20 million rand of invoices that needed to go in for payment, and he promised to do good on that.
How did you know he had another 20 million rands worth of invoices?
He told me.
And what evidence did he provide in that regard?
He sent me the purchase orders, all these documents that, there's a whole lot of purchase orders that were here. That was proof that he had money still outstanding to him.
Those purchase orders, those long, long lists of purchase orders, were sent in April.
Yes, but he had not delivered on them.
He had not delivered on them?
I mean, these are previously to these purchase orders, he had more purchase orders. He had a lot of purchase orders. Mr. Matlala had a lot of purchase orders. Hence, in January, he needed more cash to deliver on those purchase orders.
Which purchase orders had he sent you by February when you chose to pay 500,000 to Mr. Maumela?
It was these that were going to come. He knew these were coming.
He may have known that they were going to come, but he hadn't sent them to you, had he?
No, we spoke about them.
You spoke about them. So Mr. Matlala told you, don't worry, I'm getting more purchase orders.
Yes.
And why did you not say to Mr. Matlala, you can pay Mr. Maumela out of your share of the
I did
money
do
that is
that,
coming?
Council. I did. I, on several occasions, told him that he can pay him on his own. He just requested, and he just kept on asking, and then I agreed to do that.
Mr. Carrim, you don't strike me as someone who just lets business partners walk all over him if they request.
Mr. Cheslokan, you raised a very important issue. You fingered these two individuals on a murder. You just said that a few minutes ago. So I read this in the media. Yes, I'm a businessman. Yes, I have a family. I have people to protect. I've got kids. At that moment in time, I did not know whether these rumors are true or not.
Well, that's an answer that I can accept, Mr. Carrim. But we'd have saved a lot of time if you had come up and set out with that answer right at the beginning. If your answer is you thought that you might be dealing with a murderer, so you didn't want to say no to him, well, then that's an answer I can accept. Is that your answer?
I'm saying alleged, these stories were in the media. I'm not saying he is, I'm saying I read. So yes, I was afraid of that.
So you're saying now that in addition to his asking and asking and asking as a reason for paying 500,000 to Mr. Maumela's chosen payee, Mr. Matlala's chosen payee, Mr. Maumela, you also had some misgivings that the media reports may be true and that you may need to say yes to protect yourself and your family.
Yes.
My concern about that answer is that all of these press reports we were talking about had been circulating broadly since April 2024. So why did you go into business with Mr. Matlala in June 2024 if you'd seen all of those reports?
Like I said, it was at the back of my mind. Now, when our own police, South African Police Service, that must be there to protect us, give Mr. Matlala a contract of 360 million rand, who am I to vet Mr. Matlala when our own police services awarded this man a contract of 360 million? So if he was that dodgy character, why would SAPS then award him a contract for 360 million?
Well, Mr. Carrim, I don't find that answer convincing either, because one of your recurrent refrains here is that Mr. Matlala is constantly looking for people who have connections within the SAPS and within the ministry to exercise influence over his contract.
Chair, I might be mistaken. I don't recall this witness giving that evidence.
Yes, I didn't.
Doing this? Sorry. You believed.
Oh, Mr. Chaskalson, you.
I'll rephrase it. I'll
Right,
rephrase
thank
it. You believed that if Mr. Matlala thought that you could influence the SAPS and you could influence the minister, he would be more likely to pay you.
I did say that. But clearly, Mr. Matlala was much more connected in the SAPS than me.
Yes, but the corollary of believing that Mr. Matlala was interested in people who could influence the police must have been a suspicion that Mr. Matlala was looking to manipulate processes within the police and the ministry.
Council, you'll have to ask him about that. I can't comment on him.
Yes, but in response to your answer that you were reassured that the police themselves had given Mr. Matlala this contract, so you felt, notwithstanding the reports, that you could go into business with him. I want to put to you that you should have anticipated that there was a possibility that Mr. Matlala had manipulated the processes within the police.
I was not part of that process, Council.
I'm not saying that you were part of that process. I'm saying you should have anticipated that he was part of that process.
Council, when someone brings you an appointment letter, you don't question the appointment letter. I did not know if there was anything untoward done in that process. I didn't know.
And not only do you enter into a contract with him, or you enter into an agreement with him, but you advance him 10 million rands without a written contract. Why did you do that?
There was a draft agreement set in place. There was a funding agreement set in place. We'd agreed that the funding agreement would be signed after the SLA.
This is the first time you've mentioned this draft funding agreement. Does a copy of this thing still exist?
Yes.
Again, I'd ask that that gets sent through to the Commission. But I come back to my earlier question. Are you in the habit of advancing 10 million rands to relative strangers without any written agreement, never mind any security?
At that moment in time, when I met Mr. Matlala, we drew up the agreements. He had the award letter. We then agreed that I'd nominate someone to get onto the bank from my office, which we did, just so that we could get the SLA and then get the funding agreement signed. So we appointed someone from my office onto the bank for notifications as security for releasing funds.
Sorry, you appointed someone?
Yes, from my office. Mr. Matlala allowed me to bring someone and nominate them onto the bank account.
Onto the bank account of Medicare 24?
Correct.
Why hadn't you mentioned that earlier?
We're talking about it now, Council.
That's not my question. Why hadn't you mentioned it earlier?
You're asking about an agreement or any security, so I had someone on the bank account.
You were asked to explain your relationship with Medicare 24. Did you not think it was relevant to know that you had someone with signing powers over their bank
It
account?
was not signing powers, Council. So it was just notification for the initial stage.
Sorry, notification?
Meaning he's appointed, so any funds coming in, any funds going out, we'd get the notifications of that.
Yes. And who was that person?
Mr. Ziad Khair.
Can you spell that?
Z-I-Y-A-A-D.
Mr. Ziad who?
Khair. K-H-A-I-R.
And he received notification of all movements on the account of Medicare 24.
Yes, let me elaborate, Council.
Please do.
We appointed Mr. Khair on the bank account. That lasted not more than a month. Mr. Khair was removed. I then contact Mr. Matlala and ask him.
Removed by whom?
You know, I called him. It had to be removed by the owner of the account, obviously. I then call him and ask him what's going on. He then says to me, look, I need someone else. I need an accountant. can you get me an accountant? Can you get me a CV of someone that's capable? I agree. I then call a friend of mine from Polokwane, Mr. Faik Mohammed.
Please
Faik.
spell the name.
F-A-A-I-Q. And then Mohammed. Mr. Faik comes with his CV. He goes to Medicare 24. He has a meeting with Mr. Matlala and Mr. Van Wyk. They then agree to appoint him on their board, which is every Monday, bi-weekly. Mr. Faik must attend these meetings, and they would then remunerate him. They pay him for these services. We agree, Mr. Faik gets appointed. They agree on a remuneration. Mr. Faik sits on this board every Monday for invoicing. That lasts for a month again. Mr. Faik doesn't get paid, he gets removed. He just doesn't get invited to meetings again. Call Mr. Matlala again, he says, no, you know, Mike's got this problem, Mike's got that problem, Mr. Van Wyk's got this problem. But from all the correspondence between Mr. Mohammed and the board, Mr. Mohammed was doing his work. There's chats between Mr. Mohammed and the board of Mr. Mohammed's work that he has to do. But Mr. Mohammed was also removed and not paid. When I raised this with Mr. Matlala, he kept on saying, no, we'll sort it out. And at that time, events were getting up to us because now I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid. My people are getting removed. I'm putting pressure on him to pay. He needs to deliver. And I'm getting him, I want him to sign the funding agreement. He kept on saying, yes, we'll sign the agreement, get the SLA. I finally get a copy of the SLA. I call him, and he kept on saying, no, we'll get the funding agreement signed, but the funding agreement never got signed.
Again, this is new information for us, so I just want to get a few particulars. When was Mr. Ziad Khair put on to notifications, and when was he removed?
Council, sometime in July, early July. I think
Was that his appointment or his removal?
his appointment.
And he was removed approximately a month later.
I think a month later, yes.
And Mr. Mohammed was then notionally appointed to the board. Would that have been in August?
No, much later.
Much later.
Yeah,
So there was an interregnum period when you had nobody.
August, he submitted his CV around August, September, somewhere around there. He submitted his CV.
And you say he lasted on the board approximately a month.
Yeah, just over a month. He attended a few meetings and they never called him back for any other meetings.
So when was he nominally on the board, if you were to give us a start date and an end date?
September, sometime mid-September to October. I'd have to check.
So September, October is what you're looking at?
Yeah, I speak under correction, Council. I need to check this.
Please do, and maybe overnight if you can get us some exact dates on those. And if I understood you correctly, although Mr. Matlala had asked for Mr. Mohammed to be there, he effectively gave Mr. Mohammed no access to the affairs of the company.
He did have some access in the beginning. He did. He did have some access in the beginning.
What did you understand that access to be?
From what I understood, he would have some access into the banking system of Medcare 24. I speak under correction, but he had some access into the system of Medcare 24 or the banking.
So he could look to a certain degree into transaction records.
Yes, I
is
think.
what you understood.
Yes.
But then possibly in October, that access was removed.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the dates, but he was also removed. We just have to get
Yes.
the correct timelines on the dates, yes, but he was removed.
And after his removal, was there anybody else who was given access at your instance?
I asked, but nothing was done.
Were you not at this stage starting to get rather suspicious of your business partner?
Yes, I was.
So by the end of October, you are concerned that your business partner is not only someone who's alleged to have been involved in tender fraud and possibly murder, but he's also someone who seems not to want to give you access to his accounts.
Yeah, we just have to get the dates correct. It could be later in October. So,
And in that context, would it be fair to say that the only reason, or that the primary reason why you paid 500,000 rands to Mr. Maumela at the instance of Mr. Matlala was that you were scared?
yes.
And there was one further payment.
Before you move on, Mr. Chairperson, I hear that you say you were scared, but I'm interested to know if you ever asked Mr. Matlala why he had not paid the 750,000 directly to Mr. Maumela. Why did he want this to be done through you or by you?
Yes, Commissioner. I asked him on several occasions that why don't you just pay him yourself from Medcare 24? He just said no, he can't do it from Med 24. He has to do it for me. I must help him, please. He can't do it from Med 24. But I said, you have signing powers on Med 24. You just have to process it from Med 24. But he kept on insisting that I do it from my vehicle.
That doesn't make sense to me. Did it make sense to you?
At that time, Council, it didn't make sense. Hence, I'm saying I continued to say to him, I can't do this. He continued to persist and say, please help me.
And moving on to the removals of the two people you referred to, you may have dealt with it. You'll tell me if you've done so already. What exactly were the reasons given for the removal of your two people?
Commissioner, on the first one, he just said to me, no, he needs someone that has more accounting experience. It's just not anybody, admin person. So I said, okay, that's fine, that's justifiable.
But this was more for you and not for him. It was you that wanted to see the flows into and out of the account. It was
Correct.
not for his benefit, so it doesn't make sense to me that he should have insisted on somebody that has accounting knowledge. So can you make me understand? I just don't.
Yeah, I asked him, why must this person be removed? Why do you need someone that's got accounting experience? He then explained to me, no, this person now that's got the accounting experience needs to sit on his Monday meeting, board meetings, where actual invoices are discussed. That must go in and follow the trail of payment. So he needed someone that had knowledge, accounting knowledge. And that was his reason.
But for your purposes, I mean, you were satisfied to see that money had flown in, money was going out or had gone out. You were satisfied with
I was
that,
satisfied
which
with
is-
that, Council.
Which is why you had set that system up in the first place, not so?
Correct. I was satisfied with that.
So for you, what he said must have been unacceptable if you were happy with what you had set up, correct?
I did raise my concerns. I did say to him, there's no reason to remove this guy.
No. I'm asking you, you were satisfied with what you had set up, correct?
Yes.
So why did you allow him to tell you about the need for someone with accounting knowledge? Why did you agree to that?
He has overall powers on that account, so even if I stage my protest, he can remove that person.
I understand that. That's something else altogether. But about you, why did you agree to that? Because what you had set up was satisfactory for your purposes.
I didn't agree. I didn't agree, but he still removed the person.
But did you reason with him?
Yes.
Along the right lines?
I tried to reason. He had already removed the person and then requested another person.
All right, now he's got, or you've given him someone with accounting knowledge, and why was that one removed?
When I went back to him, he said, Mr. Van Wyck's got issues with this guy. I said, can you give me proper, what are the issues? Because this guy works under Van Wyck, and he's not a problem. He's not a troublesome person. He's a young man. He knows what his job is. He knows what he must do. So somehow or the other, he said to me, Mr. Van Wyck didn't like Mr. Mohammed. Didn't take a liking for Mr. Mohammed.
Were you told what problems Mr. Van Wyck had with him?
Yeah, he said Fyke is always late for meetings, but when I talked to Fyke, he's always on time. He was at the meetings regularly. He was on time. He was at the meetings regularly.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Carrim, so this loan is advanced in June. In fact, the first payment, according to your statement, is on the 26th of June. You need to speak up for
Yes,
that.
yes, Commissioner.
Yes. So the first person that you appointed to be a co-signatory to the account, that you nominated to the account, they would have been appointed when and removed when? You said for about a month.
July.
So they were removed in July.
No, he was appointed end of June, beginning of July. And we'll just have to check, but
Yes.
there is records, definitely.
Okay. And immediately after they were removed, another one was appointed. Mr. Mohammed was
Yes.
appointed. And
Yeah,
you
Mr.
say
Mohammed was appointed at Medcare 24, at the offices.
on the board.
Yes.
So he's not a signatory. He's not a signatory to the account.
We need to check what access he had. I'm sure we can find out what access he had and to what extent was his access, yes.
Yes. My interest really is you've put in 10 million rand into this business or this transaction. Well, it's into the business. What they do with it is to service. That's what you say. Mr. Matlala said to you he needed it to service the tender, but it is into the business Medicare. You've put in 10 million. You expect a return of 10 million rand, so a total of 20 million rand. How is it that you accept that the people that you have nominated, so that they are your eyes, you say they are there to see as money comes in, so that they're your eyes. When they are removed, you leave it be. That's the end of the matter. How do you explain that?
No, it wasn't end of the matter, Council. I insisted that I need explanations as to why these people are removed, first of all. And I said to him, it's unacceptable. I said to him, we had an agreement. And when he removed Mr. Fyke, I mean, there was not an altercation, but we exchanged some harsh words. He did not even remunerate Mr. Mohammed for the services that he produced. He didn't pay him. And I said to him, but it's not fair. We had an agreement. And then I kept on insisting that I need to put Mr. Mohammed back onto this board. He said to me, no, when he restructures the board, Mike is, as the CEO, Mike will now step aside and Mr. Mohammed can come back.
Did he come back, Mr. Mohammed?
We tried on many occasions. Mr. Mohammed has messages between himself and people that were sitting on the board, kept on asking them, when can I come? Send me the link. Can you send me the link for the meetings? Nothing transpired out of
Yes,
it.
so at some point, Mr. Mohammed stops being on this board, and that's really what I would like to get to. At which point does he stop being on this board, and you do not, after that, you have no representative on this board
It
where
was,
you've put in a
around,
huge
Dec-
investment
December, end of December,
of 2024?
yes.
Okay, so beyond December 2024, you no longer have a representative on this board?
No.
Okay. Now, if Mr. Mohammed was on the board up to December 2024, why would you need to ask Mr. Mkhotsi about payments coming in? Because you've got somebody there you've got a representative on the board who knows about what's happening in the company. Why would you need Mr. Mkhotsi to tell you whether payments are being made or not?
Commissioner, Mr. Mohammed has access to the med system. He knows
He's got access to?
to the Medicare system.
Mhm.
When I was asking Brown about payments, Brown Mkhotsi, that was from when Mr. Matlala said payments are in. That was from the SEP system. Mr. Mohammed didn't have access to the SEP system. He only had access to Medicare system.
I understand that. I'm asking you a different question. You would have known or should have known through your person in Medicare that payments, remember what you say in your statement, is Mr. Mkhotsi is not paying, Mr. Matlala is not paying you, you're getting nervous, it's now December and you're not receiving any payment. You then ask Mr. Mkhotsi whether Mr. Matlala is getting work, that's the first thing you say, and then two, whether he's receiving payments. You ask Mr. Mkhotsi that, who's not in SAPS, so he will go to his contact. But you have a person inside. It doesn't make sense to me that you would have a person inside and you don't say to that person, are payments coming in? Is this company getting work?
Yes, I had that information. We knew there was, but we were not getting paid. The only person that could check if we're not getting paid was Mr. Mkhotsi.
No, your statement says you asked Mr. Mkhotsi to find out whether Mr. Matlala is receiving work and whether he's getting payments. That's what you say in your statement.
Yes, Commissioner, I did do that.
It's exactly that I'm querying with you, that why would you ask Mr. Mkhotsi for that kind of information when you have a person inside the company?
I had a person in the company, but his access was limited to invoicing only. That's all he could see. He could see an invoice, and when the invoice would go in, that's all.
But he's a board member. I think you've told us that he's a board member.
He's not a board member as such. He sat on the finance board,
Yes.
a finance board.
So you're saying he wouldn't, did you ask him, maybe let's take it one step at a time. You either asked him and he did not give you satisfactory answer, and you can explain why he doesn't give you satisfactory answers, that's why you go to Mr. Mkhotsi, or you never asked him, and in your statement you just speak about Mr. Mkhotsi. You say, I got anxious and I asked Mr. Mkhotsi to check his work coming in, which I would be surprised if your man didn't know that work is coming in. Two, is he getting paid? I'm surprised that your man doesn't know that.
His main function was only invoices. He sat on the finance board. They would have a bi-weekly meeting where he'd just deal with invoices going in. So he would never know when payments will come, where's the payment stuck. At that time, payments were stuck. Hence, Mr. Mkhotsi checked for us where the payments are.
But he would know that work is coming in.
Well, he'd see invoices.
Okay. All right. The second question that I have about this payment, the Tamiz payment, in total, how much did Tamiz receive from Medicare?
The net payment was 1,750.
What do you mean when you say the net payment? Is there significance to you using the word net?
No, I'm just saying the final amount that I received was 1,750,000.
That's the total amount that
Yes.
was received. And then you then loaned Mr. Matlala 500.
No,
What did you do?
Commissioner. In total, I received 2.5.
Yes, that's what I wanted to understand.
Yes.
Yes.
And on the request of Mr. Matlala on the two payments, I gave 500 and then 250. That's hence the Ms. has a net of 1750.
Okay, so you loaned Mr. Matlala?
No.
the 750.
That money was Mr. Matlala's money. He asked me that I'm paying you. Can you please advance this money to Mr. Maumela on my behalf?
So he used you as a conduit to pay Mr. Maumela? Because if you say it was his money, then it was not a payment to Tamiz, I think is the name of the company. If you say that money from the get-go, when he gave it to you, the 750 at the outset was never meant to be.
No, that was my money. That was my money. He then requested me to say, can you please, from this monies, take 750, give it to Mr. Maumela, and I'll make good for this money on the next payment that comes in.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to clear with you. You either were paid 2.5, and then Tamiz was paid 2.5 million, and then you lent Mr. Matlala the 750 by paying it to Mr. Maumela, but it's a loan to Mr. Matlala because you don't have a loan agreement with Mr. Maumela. It's either that,
Yes.
or no, let me finish because you've said two different things. Or from the get-go, 750 was never meant to be yours. You were paid the difference between 2.5 and 750. The difference was yours. The other bit you were given to pass on to Mr. Maumela. You have to choose which one it is.
I was given 2.5
Yes,
and told to pay 750 to Mr. Maumela.
okay,
So I received a payment of 1750.
okay. So you were being a conduit, really, for Mr. Matlala.
Yeah, he asked me to pay and I paid, yes.
I'm asking the nature of that transaction. It's important for me to understand the nature of that transaction. Either you were paid to, the company was paid 2.5 million, and then it loaned 750.
Commissioner,
to
I was
Mr.
explaining.
No, let me finish, because it's important that you clarify to me. So let me ask my question, and then you can clarify my difficulty. You get Tamiz gets 2.5 million paid to it. It's either that's a repayment to the company, all of it belongs to this company. And then Mr. Matlala says, you know what, I need to give Mr. Maumela 750, won't you please help me out, right? And then you help him out. So it's now a loan that Tamiz is making to Mr. Matlala. That's one scenario. The other scenario is you knew and understood as you got the 2.5 million that only 1.75 belongs to Tamiz. The balance is Mr. Matlala asking you to be the conduit to get this money to Mr. Maumela. It's one of the two. So I'm
No,
asking you to
it's
say
the first one.
which one of the two is it?
It's the first one.
Okay, so you
Commissioner.
advanced a loan to Mr. Matlala after.
And
in
he
fact-
was going to, on the next payment,
Yes.
he then said, I'll do good and sort you out, I'll top it up for you. That's
Okay.
exactly what he said.
Okay. So Tamiz would have a record that shows it has loaned Mr. Matlala or Medicare that 750,000. You're nodding?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Just one question from me. Were you ever a shareholder of Medicare 24?
No, Commissioner.
So what entitled you to appoint people to its subcommittees or its board, either Mr. Kerr or who's the other person, Mr. Faik Mohammed?
It's not an official board. It was just the finance board, but it was on the request of Mr. Matlala, not me.
And was it for the purposes of looking after your interests in Medicare 24?
Correct.
But it was informal, it was nothing formal.
We'd have to check if they gave him something. I can check if they gave him some sort of correspondence.
Okay, I'm leaving it there for now.
Can I just clarify something? This Tamiz loan now, this money, the 750 to Mr. Matlala who asks that it be paid to Mr. Maumela. To whom is the loan made? Is it to Medicare or is it now to Mr. Matlala? By
No, it
Tamiz?
should be Medicare.
So it's a loan to Medicare, the 750. All right.